Hi friends, Mindy here. I have a flip through for you today. This is my completed journal for Delivered to the Saints from Bythewell4god. I was finally able to get it finished. I've had my notes finished for a while. I just was unable to get them actually into my journal. So this journal didn't end up exactly how I anticipated when I first started it, and that's okay. But I'm just going to do a little flip through of it. So I have my little closure here with some seam binding and these cute little glasses that's holding everything together. You can see my journal ended up quite chunky just from all of the notes and everything. So I don't have really very many process videos or anything for this journal this month because I got sick. So everything is kind of just pockets and notes really for the last half of the journal. So this is day one. It's called The Faith. I just used some of the ephemera pieces, some of the stenciling in the background, and then just the way that the journal was sort of designed with the different papers and things in it. So this is moving into day two. Again, I just used an ephemera piece. I have, anytime I can make a pocket out of something, I'm going to do it. It just makes things easier. So I have another little pocket here. Sorry if you can hear my husband's phone quacking in the background. But anyway, I have some more journaling cards tucked over here. I used a dictionary stamp in the background of this particular page. Day three was the Deity of Christ. I actually did a more mixed media treatment of this. I was really trying to mimic this folder here. This was one of my favorite papers from this release, and so I decided to just kind of mimic that into the background here. And then of course I used an ephemera piece, and I used one of those little mini file folders, and I wrapped it around as a pocket, so it ends up being a pocket on both sides because there's just so many notes. So I have, you know, all my notes tucked in here with the journaling cards, and then more over here. You can see where I just did that same treatment in the background, just trying to mimic this beautiful design here. Day four is the Incarnation, again using one of the ephemera pieces, and it's holding one of my little journaling cards. And then this page actually was one of those ones that I added in, and so I just took this and folded this side back in, added a little strip of the faux washi to make another pocket right here, and then I just added a little clip up there, and I added a pocket over here with one of the pattern papers. And then I had this stencil in my stash, and I felt like it went really well with this pattern, and so I just used some Distress Oxide ink to stencil that over there, just to try to pull everything together. Day five is talking about the atonement. I have, again, one of those beautiful pattern papers, and then over the top of that I used the Dots and Dashes stencil, which was my absolute favorite stencil this month. I love that stencil. I will be using it on all the things. You'll see it a lot throughout this journal actually because I loved it so much. But I had one of the little labels that has the verse on it. I love that they are including those. And then again, I used one of those file folders, and I just wrapped it around. Instead of on the side, I did it on the bottom, so it creates a little pocket for some more of my notes and journaling cards. Again, you can see that stenciling in the background. Added a little tab with some of the fabric, and then the rest of my notes for day five are on this. And I didn't want to cover any of that up. I really love this like library look to this card, so I just let that be kind of the focal image for that. Day six is one of the papers. Again, I just used an ephemera piece to hold a couple of the flashcards. And then on the back side of this, I created a pocket for some more of my notes for day six. Day seven, again, I took one of the file folders and wrapped it around the edge of the page to create a pocket. So I have one of the beautiful ledger, what was it called? Library collage stamps that I did with oxide ink there, and then just created a pocket from that, added one of the labels that had a scripture for that day. And then on the back side, again, you can see I use that same stamp all the way through these pages just to kind of pull them all together because there's so many and they're kind of separated. So this is all day seven. Have that ephemera piece here, and then again that same stamp in the background with these journaling cards that have the verses for that day, but also some extra verses on the back. Day 8, took that pattern paper. Again, it's one of my favorites. I really love those mixed media type pages, and used that for this whole background. Again, used the labels that coordinated with this day, and then an ephemera piece here. You can kind of see in the background I used the negative side of the dots and dash stencil. So I took the ink that was actually on the stencil, sprayed it with water, and then kind of stamped it down just to get the reverse image of it, and also to use up all that ink that was just on my stencil. And then I created a pocket with, again, that pattern paper. You can kind of see here, again, that dots and dash stencil. I just love how it kind of gave a different mixed media look to it. Just giving a little bit of interest to the background. This page is one of those that I didn't decorate or anything. I just kind of left it. Sometimes I like to leave just the extra papers in there just for to break things up and to just give some extra interest. So day 9, I included a piece of vellum down here for my flashcards to fit in, and then I have one of the journaling cards just kind of clipped in because I used the book stack stencil and some of the distress glaze, and I just kind of sprinkled that over the top just to make my little book stack here. And then I just clipped that in because I didn't really want to cover up that stenciling that I used with some modeling paste there. Day 10 is I used again that dictionary page or dictionary stamp. I have an ephemera piece again with a pocket, just really a lot of pockets again used. This was like the center section of this signature. So what I ended up doing is just tearing off part of this, and then I glued down the sides to create a pocket. And then I have my notes in here so you can kind of see the paper as it was in when I glued it in there, or when I sewed it into the signature. And then here is another ephemera piece, again, using that same dictionary stamp that I used over here to try to tie all of these pages together. And again, one of those labels that went with it that day. Day 11 was called The Church. I have this beautiful pattern paper here, and it has this kind of leafy stencil or leafy design in it. So I used an old Bythewell4god stencil that had like some acorns and some leaves in it, just really subtle in the background there, just to add some interest on that craft paper. And then I have my flashcards here, created another little pocket out of that same pattern paper, and just had some of my notes tucked in there. Then I used an ephemera piece here with a couple more of my notes, and then another pocket all out of that same paper, again trying to pull everything together. Here you can kind of see that stencil just a little bit better, and then one of the flashcards fits in there. Day 12, here's again that dots and dash stencil that I love so much. I even used the file folder here, again just using it as a wraparound on the side to create pockets on both sides. So I used an ephemera piece here again as a pocket. I used the file folder and this ephemera piece for that side, and then on the back of here I have another pocket, and then just added one of the ephemera pieces there. Day 13 is the Resurrection of the Dead. I had one of those beautiful ledger pages. That was probably my favorite paper. Well, it's hard to say. There were so many beautiful papers this month. A couple of the ephemera pieces here, I just glued these together and then sort of glued them down as one to create that little pocket there. And then again, use that same ledger paper here, and again, used it over here just to try to pull everything together in the same kind of concept. This is, you know, at the point where I had written all of my notes and everything, but just kind of recovering. And so I really was just trying to get through this journal, get everything finished. Day 14 is the Holy Spirit. I used, again, another one of the file folders. This time I wrapped it around the bottom, and I used some of the clear stickers. I love this little scene here. And this one, I used a lot of these journaling cards that look like the presents or the wrapped, you know, gifts or books. And since everything was really kind of neutral, I tried to stay with that. And then because of this sort of mixed media background, I had pulled out an old stamp set called Multimedia Marks. Just pulled out one of the stamps and kind of just randomly stamped it on there just to add a little bit of interest on that craft paper. And then I pulled another couple of those clear stickers over this journaling or the file folder. And then I have my other flashcards and the rest of my notes here. So you can kind of see that I have a few pages left over. Again, when I had plans for this journal in my mind. I was going to do a whole bunch of different things, and it's just not how the month worked out, which is fine. It happens sometimes. I'm trying to give myself grace about it. But I got all my notes in here, so that's really all that matters, is really the time that I had studying anyway. So, but I did end up with a few extra pages, and actually I had another signature in here. And so I ended up pulling that signature out and rescoring the cover, because it was so chunky that my little wraparound was having a hard time coming around to the front. So it was actually kind of good that I was able to pull out that last signature. I do have, you know, the little holes that you can see here where I pulled that out, but it's right on the edge of the fold, and I think it'll be okay. It's just one of those things that I'm gonna just have to deal with. It'll be okay. I could always cover up the spine with something, but I didn't want to lose the beautiful image here, so I'm just gonna leave those little holes, and it will be okay. And then I'm just kind of wrapping this around the craft text, and then these little cute glasses hold everything in place. And that is my finished journal. So if you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for bearing with me for the last few weeks. I know I haven't had a lot of content here on my channel, but anyway, if you want to click the little notification bell and subscribe to my channel, you'll get notified whenever I post new videos. And until next time, bye.